Hi boys and girls, I'm back with my favorite book. If you didn't see the first video, I do have a video for an activity that you can practice at home with counting. I'm going to now read my favorite book, The Greedy Triangle. It's written by Marilyn. Some of you have heard me read this in your classrooms because it is my favorite, so I hope you enjoy listening to it again. Once there was a triangle that was, as most triangles are, always busy. The triangle spent its time holding up roofs, supporting bridges, making music in a symphony orchestra, catching the wind for sailboats, being slices of pie and halves of sandwiches, and much, much more. The triangle's favorite thing, however, was to slip into place when people put their hands on their hips. That way, I always hear the latest news, it said, which I can tell my friends. The triangle's friends liked hearing the news. One day, the triangle began to feel dissatisfied. I'm tired of doing the same old things, it grumbled. There must be more to life. So the triangle went to see the local shapeshifter. How may I help you? The shapeshifter asked the triangle. I think if I had just one more side and one more angle, said the triangle, my life would be more interesting. That's easy to do, said the shapeshifter. Poof! The shapeshifter turned the triangle into a quadrilateral. So you had 1, 2, 3 sides. Now he has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. That's what a quadrilateral is. Life changed in a wonderful way. The quadrilateral was happy with all the new things it could do. The quadrilateral could be on a baseball diamond or first, second, or third base. It could make a position on a checkerboard or chessboard. It could be on a television screen, a computer screen, or a movie screen. It could frame windows or frame pictures and much, much more. The quadrilateral's favorite thing, however, was to be the pages of a book. I learned so many interesting stories that way, it said, which I can tell my friends. The quadrilateral's friends liked hearing the stories. But one day, the quadrilateral began to feel dissatisfied. I'm tired of doing the same old things, it grumbled. There must be more to life. So the quadrilateral went back to the shapeshifter. How may I help you? The shapeshifter asked the quadrilateral. I think if I had just one more side and one more angle, said the quadrilateral, my life would be more interesting. That's easy to do. Poof! The shapeshifter turned the quadrilateral into a pentagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we have 5 sides. Life changed in a wonderful way. The pentagon was happy with all the new things it could do. On a baseball diamond, the pentagon could be home plate. It could be the section of a soccer ball, or appear inside whenever someone drew a 5-pointed star. The pentagon's favorite thing, however, was to be at the headquarters of the United States military near Washington, D.C. You may have driven past this building. It's called the Pentagon on your way downtown. I hear all the top secrets that way, it said. It's too bad I can't tell my friends. The Pentagon's friends couldn't help but feel left out. After a while, time seemed to pass slowly for the Pentagon, and it became dissatisfied. I'm tired of doing the same old things, it grumbled. There must be more to life. So the Pentagon went back to the shapeshifter. "So you're here again," the shapeshifter said to the pentagon. "Now what would you like?" "I think if I had just one more side and one more angle," said the pentagon, "my life would be more interesting." "That's easy to do," said the shapeshifter. Poof! The shapeshifter turned the pentagon into a hexagon. The word hexagon has an X, and so does the word 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 sides on a hexagon. Life changed again in a wonderful way. The hexagon was happy with all the things it could do. The hexagon fit into the floor, tiles, and houses and patios, and fancy crackers at parties and picnics. It worked as a socket of certain bolts and the prongs of certain wrenches. The hexagon's favorite thing, however, was to be the cell in a beehive. "I love watching the bees as they buzz in and out," it said. The hexagon spent so much time in the beehive, it was too busy to talk to his friends. The friends missed the hexagon and couldn't help but feel ignored. Again and again, the shape became restless, dissatisfied, and unhappy with his life. Again and again, it returned to the shapeshifter for more sides and more angles. The shapeshifter agreed to turn it into one shape after another. A heptagon, an octagon, a nonagon, a decagon, and so on and so on. Finally, the shape had many, many sides and many, many angles. It's still a polygon though. It's hard to see, but see, it still has sides. A circle is not a polygon. So this is still a polygon. All right, back to the story. Its sides were so small that it had trouble keeping its balance. Its friends couldn't tell which side it was on and began to avoid the shape. One day, when the shape was going downhill, it began to roll faster and faster. It went screeching around corners and crashing into fences and trees and colliding with bicycles and terrifying walkers. At last, the shape came to a stop. It felt tired and dizzy, lonely and sad. "Enough," thought the shape. "I don't know which side is up. I can't keep my balance. My friends don't want me around." The shape could no longer remember why it had been so unhappy as a triangle. Very carefully, it made its way back to the shapeshifter. "Aren't you happy yet?" the shapeshifter asked. "I want to be a triangle again," said the shape. "I'm not surprised," said the shapeshifter. Poof! The shapeshifter turned the shape back into a triangle. The triangle was delighted to have its old shape back again and kept itself very busy. Once again, it held up roofs, supported bridges, made music in a symphony orchestra, caught the wind for sailboats, became slices of pie, halves of sandwiches, and much, much more. Still, the triangle's favorite thing was to slip into place when people put their hands on their hips. That way, I always hear the latest news, it said, which I can tell my friends. Its friends liked hearing the news and were glad the triangle was back in shape again. Boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed that story. I have a challenge for you. If you could go around your house and find different shapes. I see behind me rectangles. Do you see all these rectangles behind me? What shapes can you find in your house?